Hello everyone, welcome back to another book review. In today's book review, I'm going to be reviewing a comic actually. And now if anyone knows me, they know that I love Star Wars. I am always a sucker for Star Wars. I will read anything Star Wars, especially Star Wars comics. I love Star Wars comics. So today I'm going to be reviewing Knights of the Old Republic, Volume 1, Commencement. This is the first part in, according to the back, a 9-volume series, but we're going to see, I do not know if maybe they added more, and this is just where they were when this book was published, but this is the first book in that series. Now, I do not want to spoil too much of this story, so I'm going to try to review it without giving away some of the major plot points, so hopefully if you read this, you can enjoy it too. So this features a Padawan who is not doing so well, named Zane. Now, Zane is nearing the end of his Padawan training, so the masters he's training under, so there's a couple Padawans training under a couple masters, and the masters are going to decide which of the Padawans are ready to advance to being Jedi Knight. And I think the assumption is if you don't advance, you're kind of done with your Jedi training at that point. And this is kind of a reference, if anyone read the young Obi-Wan books, like kid Obi-Wan, like when he was first training. I feel like I own one of the books. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah. Did anyone else read this series? Yeah. So basically the people who don't make the Jedi training cut in this one have to go work on a farm somewhere, even their force skills, which honestly that's not a bad life. So I don't know if that's what's going to happen. That's what the fate was in this book, but they implied it wasn't good if he was going to be able to advance. So Zane has been trying to prove that he's ready to be advanced to a knight. So he's been trying to prove himself by trying to catch a low-level criminal named Griff, who's just kind of doing shady things. He's not a real tough, big bad guy. He's a one-man operation who's trying to run some slightly gray area commerce in the area. And Zane isn't very good. He can't catch this guy. He's been trying to catch this guy 8 or 9 times, and he keeps losing him to his embarrassment and also to his master's embarrassment. And the general theme is he's not going to probably make it as a Jedi Knight. He's probably not going to be knighted. So anyways, it's the night of the event where they're going to choose who's going to be a Jedi Knight. Zane's running late. Zane is always running late. He gets there, stuff happens, and to avoid spoiling a plot point, at the end of the evening, he's on the wrong side of the Jedi Masters, and the Jedi Masters are hunting him down, and he's a wanted fugitive. And this is where we get into one of my favorite tropes of all times, and I don't really know if it's a trope, I'm just using that word. I love it when people who don't want to team up have to team up, and this also happened in the series Star Wars The Clone Wars. If you remember where Dooku is handcuffed to, I don't remember if it was Obi-Wan or if it was Anakin. Probably Anakin, because Anakin has a mouth, so you know he's going to be fun. So does Obi-Wan, let's be real. But they're both kind of, yeah, okay. They're handcuffed together, and they have to break out of jail. I love it. I love when they have to work together, and they don't want to work together. And they're like enemies, but for whatever reason, they have to work together now. I love it. So as soon as he paired up with Griff, which that wasn't, I don't want to say it's good. It didn't tick all the boxes that the whole Dooku being handcuffed. Oh yeah. I was there for that. This was equally entertaining though. I do like it when people who don't get along have to get along. If that's in a book, I'm there for it. So anyways, that's happening because he's now on the wrong side of the law, and there's pictures everywhere, and he's trying to get off world. So he goes into the Undercity, befriends a couple of people, and yeah, tries to escape and elude the masters. Now I'm not going to talk about a lot of the plot points that happen in the book or how the story plays out, so you can enjoy this by yourself. One thing I do want to call attention to is if you played it's not Jedi Knight Academy, Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Yes, the video game. Now I have not finished that video game, but I am playing it currently, supposedly, if I ever get around to it. I play too many games. In that book, there's a lot of things that also reference this, which makes sense. It's the same time period. One of them is Master Vandar, which looks like Yoda. It's the same species as Yoda, as far as I understand. He, I believe, is also in the video games. They talk about Jedi counselors, which are like seers, which I know, if I remember correctly, is one of the career choices you can take in Knights of the Old Republic. So there's a lot of references if you play the game. I think there's just fun tie-ins, and I like tie-ins like that. I think that's why I enjoy sci-fi, or is Star Wars technically a space opera? I don't really know. I'm calling it sci-fi. It's sci-fi. I like things that happen in a big universe where you can start tying things in together. There's nothing wrong with standalone sci-fi, but I really like it when you get like a whole world, especially when a world has been built this big and you can really tie things into one another. I really enjoy when you do that. So another parallel that I would draw closer to the end of this book is obviously on the wrong side of the Jedi Masters. He has been wrongly accused of some stuff, and now he's on the run, and that accusation was not correct. And when I read this, now I do not know what year this is, and I also don't know what year of the thing I'm going to talk about reference happened in, so I'm not going to be able to compare dates. First of all, I should say, if you, for whatever reason, have not seen Star Wars The Clone Wars, want to, but don't want any spoilers about what happens in some later seasons, stop right now. Or if you don't want to really, I don't know my parallels about this, but I assume the spoilers for Star Wars The Clone Wars animated series is going to be a little stronger. Anyways, there's a strong parallel I found personally at the end of this book with what happened with Ahsoka and her kind of leaving the Jedi Order, and very strong. Now, people being wrongly accused and then leaving whatever group or family they grew up in is not unique to Star Wars. I'm sure it's a plot point in a lot of other books, so this is by no means unique, but that was the immediate parallel I drew, maybe because my mind was thinking about Star Wars, but that's the parallel I drew at the end of this, because obviously on the wrong side, false accusations, a lot of anger towards people who he trusted, who were supposed to be perfect. It's almost both with Ahsoka and with Zane. It's that youthful, ideological perfection. And almost so the circumstances, well, the circumstances kind of are the same. Should the Jedi be involved in wars, or are their roles peacekeepers, which was the same, which this is the Mandalorian Wars in this one. That's the same question that was posed during the Clone Wars series, which I actually really liked. If you don't like Star Wars, I think Star Wars The Clone Wars is, if anything, underrated. It's wonderful. I love that series, and it definitely starts out very kid and cartoon, but they leave that around season 4 and is not kid or cartoon anymore. Anyways, this is not Katie's thoughts on the Star Wars The Clone Wars series, although I wish it was. I'll have to make another video series on that. But yeah, Zane they don't talk about his opinion, I don't believe, necessarily on it, as much as Ahsoka maybe has to deal with it, and maybe that comes up in later series, but in this one, it's should Jedi Knights be shipped off to fight in the Mandalorian Wars, or is that not their role? And in Star Wars The Clone Wars, it's are Jedi's generals. Should they be generals? Should they be in this war for the Republic? So there's a lot of parallels, and at the end of this book, it just got me thinking, and I think that was a hard-hitting episode of Star Wars The Clone Wars. So that just brought it all back to me at the end of this book, and there are 9 more volumes in this series, and I am here for it. I want to see what happens. As soon as this video is over, I'm going to be looking up where volume 2 is in my system, and if we don't have it, I'm going to be ordering it, because I'm interested in seeing this. This is probably, I want to say, the best Star Wars comic I've read. I don't want to say of all time, but in recent memory. This is pretty good. And I read one a couple months back that was like a collection during the Clone Wars, and that one was also really good. But I think this one just has an edge just because, again, my favorite trope and the tie-in that I felt with Ahsoka in one of the best Star Wars, the Clone Wars arcs, kind of the wrapping up of that series. Yeah, this was just good. This can be a 4.5 star. This is almost a 5-star. I'm really picky with giving out my 5 stars, but I'm going to be thinking about this for a while. This is really good. So if you like Star Wars, and if you like comics, I would highly recommend this. This also inspires me to go back and play Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, because I want to see how much more from that ties into this time period. Overall, I am really happy with this book. I would really recommend it. If you've read this series, if you've read this comic, if you have any comments on this, I would love to hear it. And other than that, have a good evening.